Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Sunday International Big Book Workshop. I'm Dan Bean. I'm a recovered alcoholic. This workshop is facilitated by Kemble H, who's in whichever screen there. This study relies on you listening. Please, we pray that you have a big book in hand and follow along with a pen, pencil, or highlighter. Make notes and pause if you have to. Write down any questions and we'll take them at the end of the meeting. We will keep everybody muted during the workshop except for the facilitators. Any inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated and you'll be removed by one of the co-hosts. This meeting is being recorded. The audio portion only is being recorded and only of the facilitators. The recording will be shut down at the end of the class before taking any questions in order to preserve your anonymity. Have an amazing meeting, everybody. And how we open this meeting is with a step 3 prayer found on page 63. So please join along. God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Amen. Thank you very much. Over to you, Kemble.
All right. Amen. Thank you, Brother Dan. And happy Sunday, everybody. It's a beautiful day to be alive and sober today, no doubt about it. And welcome to Keystone Weekly International Sunday Big Book Meeting. I'm Kimball. I am a recovered alcoholic. I'm a member of the Keystone Group. So last week, we talked about working with others. So this week, we're going to continue working with others. And it has some very practical suggestions that we use when we taking other alcoholics through the process of action. Because, one thing about it, when we took this course of action, we recovered from alcoholism and it gave us the power to help others. And that's our most important job today, helping others who suffer from what we have suffered from. I get a great enjoyment in doing this. I love taking people through the book because it gives me a purpose today. That's what God wants us to do today. Once we recover from this illness we suffer from, we have to thank Him for getting us out of the place we used to be in. Sanity has been restored, no doubt about it. So we'll crank up on page 96 today. And Brother Dan, if you will, you start on suppose now you are making your second visit.
Yeah.
And you can read to the top of 97, that first sentence, and then we'll get cranked up.
Excellent. Let's get started. Middle of page 96, everybody. Suppose now you're making your second visit to a man. He has realized this volume and says he is prepared to go through with the 12 steps of the program of recovery. Having had the experience yourself, you can give him much practical advice. Let him know you are available if he wishes to make a decision and tell his story, but do not insist upon it if he prefers to consult someone else. He may be broke and homeless. If he is, you might try to help him about getting a job or give him a little financial assistance, but you should not deprive your family or creditors of money they should have. Perhaps you will want to take the man into your home for a few days, but be sure you use discretion. Be certain he will be welcomed by your family and that he is not trying to impose upon you for money, connections, or shelter. Permit that, and you only harm him. You will be making it possible for him to be insecure. You may be aiding in his destruction rather than his recovery.
Okay, thank you, brother. Great start, great start. Now it goes on to relate about, suppose you're now making your second visit to a man. Now he done had a chance by now to read some of this volume. He says he's prepared to go through with the 12 steps. So with us, we done had the experience of going through the 12 steps. So we can give him much practical advice or suggestions, as we call it. We call the big book a suggested program of recovery. So first thing, we let him know that we are available if he wishes to make a decision and tell his story, right? Well, we know step 1 and step 2. At this point, if he started reading on the book and he allowed us to help him through it, when he's done step 1 and step 2, the decision they're talking about will be step 3. To make a decision to tell his story would be step 5, but he had to write his story down, which would be step 4. So this is like ready to 5th step right now. But then we do not insist on him telling us his story if he prefers to consult someone else, right? Everybody cannot help everybody. Some people can get along, some people can't get along. So everybody is basically not for everybody. So pick the one. If you prefer, if you can't work with the person that first approached you, then it's best, to find somebody that you can work with. Even as sponsors, sometimes we have people that's hard to work with, but we do continue to practice love and tolerance for as long as we can. Anything to help another alcoholic come out from an abundance of alcoholism. So, we done took the step, but like I said, we're not going to force them to take the steps. We can now allow these people to take whatever course they want to take at this point. We've already planted the seed, right? And it reminds me of a vital principle I learned in my other big book. One plant. So we plant the seed. Another person waters it. They continue giving you practical instructions from this book and taking you through with it. And the third one is God is going to make it grow if we are willing enough, honest enough, because the book tells us to be thorough and honest from the very start. Willingness is the key. And then we must keep an open mind to all spiritual applications. We keep that open mind. So if they need help, we can give it to them, right? We can provide what they need. But the suggestion number 88 says, but avoid giving them money, right? Some people, even from my experience, I can share this with you. If we trying to recover, we're going to see this person that's recovered that's helping us. We may want to try to get some money from this person to ease out and go get us a drink or something else. I'm just going to share some personal experience because a lot of us probably do it or done did it. And then we'll become dependent on them. And then when they don't give us this money that we want, at the moment, we're going to get an attitude, we're going to catch a resentment, and we're going to go get it from somebody else, and that usually don't turn out very well. So we can't allow people, when they first come in the program, to pressure us to give us money. Especially, if people may be homeless, right? True enough. Now, back when the book was written, they put people in their homes. That's not a problem. Bill and Bob and a lot of other the first 100 men and women, they did this because they don't have the facilities we have today. See, today we got rehabs. We have halfway houses. They didn't have all this back then. At this point, they didn't even have a book. So, they were sending out a chapter at a time to Akron and then New York. And then they started forming groups. But then, the book actually wasn't published in 1935. I mean, 99 or 39. So, but anyway, one thing we have to think about, if we today, we can still bring alcoholics or addicts in our home, but we have to have wisdom. We're going to have to develop some trust in this person because everybody we let in our homes is not going to be good, especially we have family, right? So here we need to take some practical wisdom because the family always has to come first. The happiness and security of our family should always be our first consideration if we want to bring somebody into our home. And even we consider them when we helping other people, right? Because other people can come into our home because we can invite them in there to do some one-on-ones with them. But today we have Zoom and stuff like that. So, it most likely you wouldn't have to bring people into your home because we do have facilities we can put them in. So, but anyway, it needs to be discussed with the family. I discuss basically a lot of things with my family, especially when it comes to helping others. They know they are high priority, but then helping others, they know the need that I must help other people. They're going to get their time. My sponsor taught me to have balance between my spiritual life, my religious part of life, and family life. And, but when my recovery, God has to come first in our life. Then my recovery comes, then my family comes. And helping others, it's all tied in together. Goes hand in hand. So, and it's a great process. So, if we continue to allow these people, to pressure us for money or connections or just shelter, permit that, and we can only do him some harm. Because if he can lean on us for certain things, then they probably won't even be seeking out the program of recovery. And it says, and we may be making it impossible for him to be insincere. Then we may be aiding him in his destruction rather than in his recovery. No doubt about it. So the bottom line with this, another suggestion. The people we help, they must rely on God, not us. They have to rely on God, and we have to pound this into them. I know people I help, I have to tell them all the time, I say, I'll be your sponsor. I'm going to take you through every part of this book. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to make sure you get took through the process thoroughly, as they say, precisely, as the book brings it out. But then your reliance on being sober is going to be the relationship you can gain with God, not me. Because and I tell my people, you ain't got, don't be calling me. You talking about you got? I ain't gonna tell you to call me before you drink or call me before you make a decision. That's your life. And then if you call me, I ain't gonna be able to stop you no way because your mind already made up. If you got, I wouldn't call nobody until 3-4 days later and I'm still drinking. If I run out of liquor, then I'm gonna call my sponsor or whatever. That's back when I was struggling, right? But no, don't call me. I mean, you can call me just to have a conversation. But no, if I'm your sponsor, you said, see, in the fellowship I was in, people used to tell me this crap. Call me, Kim, before you take a drink. Well, what good is that gonna do? So then one guy told me one time, you know what, Kim, if you don't put it in your mouth, you can't get drunk. Well, man, how am I supposed to do that? I didn't have a solution, right? Because nobody had 12-step me in. So I looked at these people like they was crazy. I said, put me out your car. And I get out the car and went straight to the liquor store. That's what we alcoholics do. If somebody can give you some off-the-wall advice that's not in the book, that's not going to help real alcoholics. So, you know, we have to have people, we have to get people to realize that God is the power that's greater than us. We just people that he used to help. So basically what I'm saying is don't let other people become our higher power. Our first defense must come from a higher power for us. Without it, we don't have a defense. No human being was ever my defense from a higher power. No, sir. I was going to take a drink. There's no wife, nobody, no human being. They couldn't do nothing with me. So then, Brother Dan, on page 97, I'm going to run through this first paragraph, and then we'll get back to reading in just a second. So the next suggestion I like to cover where it says never avoid these responsibilities, right? But be sure you are doing the right thing if you assume them. Now this is at the top of page 97, the first full paragraph. So a beautiful suggestion that I've been taught, it says have a complete willingness to help. No problem, be willing to help at whatever means, ways, or whatever necessary, but be careful not to make anything worse. Yes, no doubt. So this is the practice of these principles, right? We want to show love and tolerance to these people. See, a person like me, I got such a good heart. You know, I'm the kind of person I give people some money if it can help them. But you know, it's just the suggestions in the book. But some people will try to use us. But as time went on, when I got sober for good, I learned that I can't continue to do that because I'd be feeding into their troubles. So, you know, we have to use judgment, close judgment. First of all, I got to pray about it. And then it depends on the situation this person is in. And then we can go from there. So then helping others, I like to stress this out too. I love it. So helping others is the foundation stone of your recovery. You know, I've talked about the stones in this meeting before, and helping others is definitely the foundation stone. Even Bill Wilson seen this way back when he was in the hospital, in Towns Hospital. The simple thing is helping others helps ourselves. And I tell my sponsees all the time, hey, you know, you help me more than you realize. See, they helping me by allowing me to take them through the program. And then their feedback and the things they learn from the book, they reflect it back to me. And that helps me because they may touch on something that might be done slipped and forgot or whatever, you know. But we can't memorize this whole book. So it's a beautiful thing. So I always tell them how grateful I am that they're helping me just as much as I'm helping them. Thank God for that. And then the book goes on to relate a kindly act once in a while isn't enough. You have to act a good Samaritan every day if need be. Be helpful every day is another suggestion. Helping others every now and then not going to help you, right? See, in my drinking career, when I was bound with this selfishness and self-centeredness, I wasn't going to help you unless I had a motive behind it, right? See, we alcoholics, we have all kind of preconceived motive, but with this personality change that the big book talks about, today we look forward to helping others. I know I do, and I don't expect nothing in return. I simply want to help pull you out of the pit if you are in it, and I simply want to help you to increase whatever needs to be done in order to help people solve sober. That is a blessing. That's the kind of work I love to do. So, say if we help, and even when we go out in public, right? We go out to the ball game or the grocery store or something. We may see somebody that needs some help. Today we can walk up to these people. Well, can I give you some assistance? Can I pay for your food? Just different types of things we can do. That's expressing love and showing appreciation for what we have been freely given, right? I love it when I go somewhere and see somebody need help. I had trouble walking today because of I got some issues going on in my body, but I'm gonna walk out there with my stick and try to help get bags out the car, put them in, whatever needs to be done. That's just it. We help people, period. Even text or a phone call or whatever. We can reach out and touch somebody with maybe just a nice message. That's a great thing. That's helping people. Somebody may be feeling down, right? You send them a quick text. They may look at it and it might inspire them. They might be in a bad spot and it'll bring them out, especially for us real alcoholics. Because we always need uplifting and encouragement, no matter how good we may think we have. We got a daily reprieve, and it's a beautiful thing. Me, myself, I go by the 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, and all that concept, because it's true. We get a breath. Every breath we take is a blessing. So we take that blessing and we share it with other people, trying to help them to the best of my possibility. So, Brother Dan, if you will, we'll go down to where it says we seldom allow an alcoholic to live in our homes for long at a time. Okay.
Yeah, so let's start reading at we, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We seldom allow an alcoholic to live in our own homes for long at a time. It is not good for him, and it sometimes creates serious complications in a family. Though an alcoholic does not respond, there is no reason why you should neglect his family. You should continue to be friendly to them. The family should be offered your way of life. Should they accept and practice spiritual principles, there is a much better chance that the head of the family will recover. And even though he continues to drink, the family will find life more bearable.
Okay, thank you again, Brother Dan.
Cool.
No problem. What this paragraph is suggesting, if we allow another alcoholic to stay in our home, it'll only be a temporary basis, because it wouldn't be good for them and it wouldn't be good for us, right? We're simply there to do what we can for them and try to get them on so they can live life on their own 2 feet. So, and then it was sometimes the paragraph brings out, it can create complications for the family, serious complications. Yeah, because that may be dissensions may pop up, divisions may pop up. There's going to be a lot of tension in the house, probably. If the family don't want these people around, it's going to be a lot of tension. I can share some personal experience with you right now. When I moved back home 2.5 years ago, my wife had 2 brothers. One's a crackhead, one is an alcoholic. I'm recovered from it, but they doing this stuff every day in the house, and the whole family was in a turmoil because of what they was doing. And twice I had to just go off, getting out of my character, snapping. So we moved. We can't deal with that because they didn't want no help. I'm sitting here helping people in person and on Zoom, and they sitting there, they ain't thinking about changing, wanting to change. And they worse off is just as worse as I was now. And that was a bad case. But see, when we have people in our homes like that, it's only for temporary. So after about what was it, years? It took about a year. You know, got me and my family out of there. And even though it was our house, we decided to let them have it and move on without bidding. Now life has been peaceful ever since. When people don't want help and they're in your home, it's time for them to vacate or whatever you got to do. But you know, we can still use love and discernment and care for these people. We just can't have you living in my home too long because you've been here long enough. I mean, some people take time to get on their feet, but then other people, they will use it as an excuse to see what they can get out of you at all times. Next thing you know, you drain. And there they is. They still balling, right? Off money you done gave them stuff to help them with. So, you know, and I can see the difference in my family, all of them. My daughter, my wife, my two grandboys, I can see the difference in their faces and reactions. They are in so much peace today because of the situation that we was in. Thank God for that. So that's just personal experience. You may run into this one day, who knows? And it's family members. It wasn't strangers off the street. It's two family members. So, you know, it's just the way it rolls sometimes. And then it brings out a suggestion in this paragraph. We do not allow these people to interfere with our family life. And see, and that was the problem. It was interfering with our normal family life, and it wasn't good. When you get into it with one of my grandboys, they gonna have a problem, and that's just the problems that was piling up, being around other people like us living in our home. I mean, I have to share that because I experienced it, and maybe it can help somebody when they run into this situation. Because we try to help people as much as we can, but people take our kindness for weakness, right? And they think they just step all over us. Though we done recovered or we ain't recovered, look, they think, oh well, they ain't gonna do nothing. You know, that's how people take us to be. They take us to be dummies. Just because we were maladjusted to life at one time, we ain't maladjusted today, but the sanity has been restored. No doubt about it. So when it comes to the family, right? It says, though an alcoholic does not respond, there is no reason why you should neglect his family. No, the family should be offered our way of life, which is a spiritual way of life. And that can solve their problems too. I mean, we can suggest things like Al-Anon or Alateen, or they can come to open big book meetings and they can get a little bit of information about it, or they can read some of our literature, but we don't try to take our families or other people's families through the 12 steps. Our concern is with the alcoholic. Even though if he continues to drink, you know, the family may find it a little bit more bearable if they know what's wrong with their spouse, right? If they know he's a sick person, he's just not crazy. See, we alcoholics suffer from this illness. We got an illness of the mind and an illness of the body. And see, most people in the world, they don't understand what alcoholism is. That's why alcoholism is so rough on so many families. Lack of information. And our goal is to put the information out there. And maybe when we put this information out there, the people that we share this information with, they can pass it along. And then they can help other people as well. So then it goes on to relate. For an alcoholic, for the type of alcoholic who is able and willing to get well, little charity in the ordinary sense of the word is needed or wanted. So that's a valuable suggestion too. Because if you want to get well, we can help you get well. So those who truly, this is another suggestion I got to bring up on this seminar. For those who are willing and able to work the 12 steps, they will not need or want any charity, you know, any handouts or nothing. No, they will be focusing on getting themselves sober and staying sober. It's more than just getting sober. It's about finding a relationship with God, the power greater than ourselves, and that's the way we can maintain our sobriety. And then it goes on to say, the men who cry for money and shelter before conquering alcohol are on the wrong track. So we can explain to them right here. It's another suggestion. The 12 steps are the solution. I know it's the solution for my problem. 3 years in this fellowship, in and out of this fellowship, not taking the 12 steps, the solution was always alcohol. Last 3.5 years, my solution has been a relationship with God because I took the 12 steps, then I had a psychic change, and I recovered from alcoholism. So those who want their problem solved before they work the 12 steps are a mistake. The focus will simply be on spiritual and working the program. If we feel we got to have cars and women and houses and all this before we get sober, we thinking backwards. No, we was already doing all this crazy stuff. Now we want to try to learn and shift to try to do things right. So we cannot continue to focus on material things. This stuff is serious. It is incurable. It's fatal. If we don't have a cure for this thing, man, so we have to do the best that we can. So this person that might be on the wrong track, we simply try to lift them up on their feet and do anything. It's another suggestion, right? We can do anything that we possibly can in our power to help someone who is honestly working the steps or want to take the steps. If they are honest enough about it, then we're going to keep pounding. We'll work with you, no doubt. And then, next paragraph it brings out, it's not the matter of giving that is in question, but when and how to give. That often makes the difference between failure and success. Yes, we can help. It's another suggestion, but not enable. Those are very key words. It's not the matter of giving that's in question, but when and how to give. So this is where wisdom comes in. We use sound wisdom in each personal circumstance. We don't judge one above the other, one alcoholic above the other. People do have times that they need our help, financially or whatever. There's times they do. They're honestly making an effort. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna help you anyway, the best that I can. I'm just gonna follow some suggestions in the book. So then it says, the minute we put our work on service plane, the alcoholic commences to rely upon our assistance rather than upon God. We to see this talks about this very same thing again, right? Make sure we pound in their head that their relief must come from God and not from us human beings. We are only human. We suffer from the same thing. What happened to us? We took the steps and we found a power that was greater than us, which commenced to solve our problem. It solves all our problems. So it did. Right here, he says he clamors for this or that, claiming he cannot master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. Then the book says nonsense. That's the short, one of the 3 short one-word sentences in the big book. Nonsense. You need to get your material. Your alcohol problem needs to be resolved before we focus on material things. So if we focus on material things, we get this back, we get that back. That's called get back sobriety, right? Or get back recovery. If you get the things back that you lost before you get your sobriety, you ain't gonna keep it long. In my experience, it's going right back out the door. No doubt about it. So we have to focus on our material, spiritual needs first of all. Focus on our problem. Focus on the solution. Focus on the course of action. Yeah. Then the book goes on to say, right? It says some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth, right? Job or no job, wife or no wife, we simply do not stop drinking so long as we place dependence upon other people ahead of the dependence of God. That is a very key point. This was drove home when my sponsor was 12-stepping me through this thing. Man, you can't put your dependence in people, and it's pounded to me like it's pounding in these pages right now. So we let the people know that we are helping. You can't depend on me to keep you sober. You make a phone call, that's not gonna keep you sober. We gotta depend on God. Then you make a phone call to me, and then we'll try to talk through it, because we can't think the drink through. Ain't no such thing. People talking about, I can just think the drink through. No, I couldn't. When I started thinking, I was drinking, so I couldn't have thought it through. But that's what some people were telling me in the fellowship, right? A long time ago. You can think the drink through, play the tape back. Shoot, if I play the tape back, it's gonna play the same thing over and over again, falling down drunk. Like on a darn, what you call them thing, Ferris wheel. rolling around in a circle, man, lost. You know, the 12 steps is the solution. Not what them people was telling me. But see, another suggestion here, I call it suggestion 103. Those who claim they can not stop drinking until their problems are solved are wrong. We're going to have problems every darn day that we live. Just as soon as we wake up in the morning and we're alive and breathing, we're going to have a problem. So problems are going to come. It's how we deal with them. And the basic thing is we let God deal with them, right? This book talks about God a whole awful lot. Now, I forgot how 300 and sometimes, something like that. But anyway, but the bottom line, once again, they would not be able to stop drinking if they depend on money and people instead of God. Even we get a good job, right? We can't focus on all that money at the moment. We got to focus on God. The money gonna come. Personal experience, I can share with you. I became disabled 7 years ago, but I always had a good job, right? I was drunk on my job for 27 years and never got fired, right? But when the time coming, the last days of working, I couldn't do crap. When it's time me to shut down, God made a way, man. When He seen I put enough effort that I gotten sober, it wasn't even 8 months after I got sober, right? God blessed me with so many things. Blessed me with a gift of freedom is basically what it was. Then He stepped in and everything else was all good. I mean, just had to trust in Him and have patience, and had to keep conscious contact with Him. And I wasn't worried about no material things. I was focused on my sobriety and how I could help other people. God gonna do His part because He's almighty, all powerful. We just a bunch of some of His creatures that He created. So, but then He gave us a solution through this program of action. Bottom line is on this paragraph here, anybody can recover from alcoholism no matter what their circumstances are, if they only trust God and take responsibility for working the 12 steps. So it don't matter if we homeless, broke, busted, can't be trusted. The solution is found in this program, found right in this big book right here. So if a person tells me, man, I got to have 2 cars, I got to have 3 houses, I got to have my wife back, I got to have my children back, I got to have the next street back, then I can get sober. Don't listen to that crap because it's a bunch of crap. I done told people that crap before, and I just disappointed them and myself because I kept on drinking. So it's just a few suggestions of when it comes to helping other people. Yeah. Very next paragraph, Brother Dan. Take it on down. Matter of fact, to the next page.
Yeah, back, finish on friendliness.
Bottom of 98, where it says burn the idea.
Cool.
And we'll stop somewhere on the next page, then we'll get that knocked out.
Yeah, cool. Last paragraph, 98, everybody. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trust in God and clean house. Now, the domestic problem. There may be divorce, separation, or just strained relations. When your prospect has made such reparation as he can to his family and has thoroughly explained to them the new principles by which he is living, he should proceed to put those principles into action at home. That is, if he is lucky enough to have a home. Though his family be at fault in many respects, he should not be concerned about that. He should concentrate on his own spiritual demonstration. Argument and fault finding are to be avoided like the plague. In many homes, this is a difficult thing to do, but it must be done if any results are to be expected. If persists in for a few months, the effects of a man's family is sure to be great. The most incompatible people discover they have a basis upon which they can meet. Little by little, the family may see their own defects and admit them. These can then be discussed in an atmosphere of helpfulness and friendliness.
Okay, you good right there, brother. Yeah, you cool right there. Thanks so much. All right, here we go again. burn the idea of consciousness in every man or woman that he can get well regardless of anyone. How true that is. The only condition is that he trusts God and clean house, right? We start trusting God through steps 1, 2, and 3. We clean house, steps 4 through 9. We grow in relationship with God through steps 10, 11, and 12. So we burn their consciousness and burn that idea. See, it's an idea we burn it into people's head. You can get well. I recovered from alcoholism by myself. I didn't have to have my family back. I didn't have to have no cars back. I didn't have to have nothing back. I wanted my sanity back. And that's what God provided through taking the program. And then God turned around and blessed me with houses and the extra cars. So, that was his blessing. But you know something? You think God ain't all powerful? He waited till I got sober up. He waited till I sobered up to bless me with things that I needed instead of getting what I didn't need, which was alcohol all the time and things of the world. No, he gave me peace. He restored my brain back to a sane condition. I can now deal with people today. I can talk to God today instead of waiting till I'm throwing up. Say, God, help me, stop me from throwing up. And then when it stopped throwing up, I'm gonna pour another drink down my throat and say, God, I'm good now. That's the times I used to pray to God. Now I talk to God all through the day, all through the night, even when I wake up out my sleep. So burn that idea in the consciousness that you can get well. You ain't got to have this back. And also, I suffer from post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety. I have a lot of medical issues. God keeps me grounded in everything I face today. I don't have to put nothing in my system to make me feel better. I don't care how bad I'm hurt. God gonna make me feel better on the inside. That's where the relationship starts. On page 55, it said we found that great reality deep down within us. When we find this reality, we tap into that power. Then we'll know peace. The greatest peace I've ever had in my life. I'm taking these steps in this book and practicing these principles in all my affairs, no doubt. So, and then it talks about the domestic problem just a little bit. It says there may be divorce, separation, or just strained relations, right? Well, true enough. Alcohol took me away from my loved family for many years because I came back a few years ago, but alcohol took me away. So that was strained relationships, right? And God reunited my family. We all back together. Suggestions that's in the book, they can use to 12 steps to repair the damage that they have caused to their own life because they got defects just like we do. But the only thing, the difference between us and them is we are the alcoholics and they are not. So we don't have no control over their defects. See, instead of doing their inventories, we have to focus on our inventory. So if they want to live a spiritual program of action, that'd be up to them. That's their choice. So we don't allow that to bother us. We just simply keep moving on. Did you get him off of there? Let me see. Okay, I think I got the bump. Did I get him? No, I didn't. There's another one. You see him, Dan? We got these darn bombers today cutting up. Y'all excuse me for a minute.
Clear.
Okay, yeah. They ain't got nothing better to do. But they probably need to be in this meeting, in my opinion.
Just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. They need to be some kind of meeting. You're doing that kind of meeting. So it ain't focused on their defects, but it's just stupidity. It comes in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. That's all it is too. Because I've been stupid myself. So wow. It said about the strained relations. Okay. Another suggestion. When it comes to the family members, right? We may be looking at them in a certain way. Well, they ain't spiritual at all. Well, we can't judge them by whether they're spiritual or not. We the ones working the program, right? So, but our families eventually, when they see the way that we live today, they should be able to demonstrate God working through them. Then here's a key point that I want to bring out. It says, it's at the last paragraph on 98. Where it reads, though his family may be at fault in many respects, He should not be concerned about that. He should concentrate on his own spiritual demonstration. That's the point I was getting at. Our own spiritual demonstration of these principles. So, there's a quote in the big book, I think at the end of Family Alphabet, right? It says, easy does it, right? So, we concentrate on our spiritual demonstration, our spiritual way of life. We shouldn't be concerned about theirs. And then when it talks about easy does it, the book brings out next to the last sentence, argument and fault finding are to be avoided like the plague. Yeah, we don't retaliate, in other words. It may be, it's hard sometimes not to retaliate, not to raise our voices, and sometimes we will. But here, the action for this, step 11, prayer, a quick prayer, step 11, pause. I have to use this quite a lot in my life because, I ain't nowhere near perfect. I still have that military and intelligence in my mind sometimes. I didn't want to just go overboard, right? But this program has taught me, hey, man, relax and take it easy. Then you ain't got to struggle. You ain't got to retaliate. Step 11. As we go through the day, we pause. And when we pause as we go through the day, it simply means we stop and talk to God just for a quick second. We ain't got to stop. God, please help me to remain calm. Please save me from being angry. Please help me see a better side to this person that I'm looking at right now. So that's how it rolls. I love step 11. I guess y'all probably done figured that out by now. Love step 11. So then, Brother Dan, I'm gonna roll on to the next 99. Let me see, it's 244. Okay. Okay, on 99, I take this paragraph. The first full paragraph on page 99, where it reads, after they have seen intangible results, the family will perhaps want to go along. These things will come to pass naturally and in good time provided. However, the alcoholic continues to demonstrate that he can be sober, considerate, and helpful, regardless of what anyone says or does. Of course, we all fall much below the standard many times, but we must try to repair the damage immediately, lest we pay the penalty by a spree. Of course, we all fall much below this standard, right? This is what step 10 comes in for us. We try to repair the damage immediately. If we say something hurtful to somebody during our day, we try to make amends for it right then. So, now a suggestion. After we have seen tangible results. Tangible results are important. It means important results. The family will perhaps want to go along. After they've seen the results from the way that we live our lives, they should allow the healing of their personal life to proceed naturally and not to rush it, and also not to rush us. This is a process that we are going through, and it must continue for a lifetime. So when it comes to talk about the alcoholic, if he continues to demonstrate that he can be sober, considerate, and helpful, regardless of what anyone says or does, we can be sober and be kind and helpful, no matter what anybody say. We may not like what they say, but we can't control. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change things I can. Wisdom to know the difference. But people gonna say stupid stuff to us all the time. But it's just how we react today. We react in a totally different way. So our loved ones, they should completely understand our new way of life by the way we walk our walk. The talking, we can talk all day long, but if we're not walking the walk and living by these principles in this book, then something is wrong with our spiritual program. We must constantly be on alert with our spiritual program. The book gives us a warning. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our Lord. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a sort of foe. So we have to be constant. I like to say keep awake. Before the spiritual way of life was introduced into my life, I might have been awake, but I wasn't. I was spiritually asleep. In other words, spiritually dead. I didn't see a way out. Didn't have a solution. When the solution was found with this book and it was incorporated in my life, then we can awake. We can awaken. Like the big book says, on awakening. Let us think about the 24 hours ahead. Used to be on awakening. Let me pull this whiskey bottle off from under my pillow and get my day started. Then the whole day screwed up anyway. Today, the focus is on God and helping other people. That's what this working with others is all about. No doubt. See, we have a new way of living today, a new foundation. We got the ark, which passes in the road to freedom, right? We got the keystone, we got the cornerstone, the ark of freedom. We got the path. We got the problem down. We done took care of the problem. We got the solution down. Now we on this great course of action. Oh yeah, back to Bill Wilson, Towns Hospital. He was laying on his hospital bed, sitting there thinking, how many alcoholics out there that he can help? That's before he even got out the hospital. You divinely inspired. Do you think God was putting something on his mind? He's sitting there suffering from alcoholism, and he's sitting there thinking about how he can help other people when he get out. Wow, that's some amazing stuff. Now, I want to cover page 100 because I ain't got much time. We have enough time to finish it up. But anyway, I take this one, brother Dan. I finish it on out. So
Cool.
The bottom of 99 first. It says, let no alcoholic say he can recover unless he has his family back. This just isn't so. In some cases, the wife will never come back for one reason or another. No doubt about it. Personal experience. I left my wife and family 27 years ago. I came home, 3.5 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So don't let nobody say you got to have your family before you can get sober. No. If you're sick as I was, you want to stop drinking, you want to get sober anyway. And God will put everything else in our places and our position. It wasn't nothing that I did. It's something that he did. He simply stepped in when he said, remember what it say, there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. But you know what? He found me and he rescued me from the pits of alcoholism and drug addiction and this and that, just about everything. He relieved me a whole bunch of stuff. I'm always got defects, so we're gonna have character defects till the day we die. But anything that may be blocking me from the sunlight of his spirit, I ask that God remove these at once. Boom, he'll take them back, take them away, and replace them with something else. It says, remind the prospect. Here it is again, Brother Dan. Look, it says, remind the prospect that his recovery is not dependent upon people. It is dependent upon his relationship with God, which is grounded in step 11. We have a 24-hour day clock in step 11. And this is how we grow and enhance in our relationship with God. Because we simply got to offer to follow God 24 hours a day, living in step 11. And if we living in step 11, we're doing the first 10 anyway, and 12. And the 12 is helping others. So we already taking care, and that's taking care of all the steps in a day, every day. No doubt about it. So, and then it goes on to say the top 100. We have seen men get well whose families have not returned at all. And then we have seen others slip when the family came back too soon. So no doubt about it. Let God direct our thinking, right? Slow me down, God, if I'm rushing too fast. Don't let me make rash, quick decisions, God, without you letting me know. That's how I have to live. If I just jump up and do stuff now today, it'll be a car wreck. Everything I jump up and do today don't turn out perfect. No, it never will turn out perfect. But it's not disastrous because, first of all, I'm not in the bottle today. So that's a blessing alone. That's the greatest blessing God can give to any of us alcoholics. So, still on page 100. Yeah, we'll make it. Both you and the new man must walk day by day in the path of spiritual progress. Here we go. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. That's the word I'm trying to get to. So when we look back, we realize that the things which came to us when we put ourselves in God's hands were better than anything we could have planned. Follow the dictates of a higher power, and you will presently live in a new and wonderful world no matter what your present circumstance is. Meaning the road ahead is going to look better when we follow the dictates of our higher power. But God is who I like to talk to. And then suggestion, I got another one down. We just continue to live the steps every day, as I just mentioned, and trusting in God, trusting our relationship that we have with Him. And there is no personal situation in our life that God can't do something about. He can fix it, even whether before we recover or after we recover. And if we in recovery, God can fix anything we go through. Any thought, He can clear up. Any action before we do it, He can clear up. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, God done kept me out of stuff since I've been sober, but just by me simply praying to Him before I make a decision. And that's what the book suggests. Pray to Him, get a relationship with Him. Ask Him what I can do, what I got to do today, God. Ask Him what I can do for the man who is still sick. God, where am I having any resentments against somebody? God, how can I be helpful? Be a maximum benefit to you today and to other people. Stressing the point, other people. How can we always be helpful to other people? No doubt about it. Beautiful part of this program. Now, it goes on to say, oh, my time is about up. I'm gonna have to make this pretty quick. It says at the bottom of 100, assuming we are spiritually fit, right? Spiritually fit. We can do all sorts of things alcoholics are not supposed to do. People have said we must not go where liquor is served, right? I can go anywhere in the world today, y'all. I don't give there's liquor in my house back there now because my family members drink. If some of my family come by, they want to drink. There it is. You know, and then I can go anywhere in the world. I don't go to places just to hang out where alcohol being served unless I got to go get somebody. But once we get our sanity back and we spiritually fit, this stuff don't bother us. Some people talking about they go by a liquor store, they want to go around this way. Or you're gonna go by a drug dealer house, you gotta go out. No, you don't. When you're spiritually fit, you can drive right past you. You ain't gotta stop. People drink around you. If you go somewhere somebody's drinking, if you're uncomfortable, leave. I mean, that's just a valuable suggestion. But when we're spiritually fit, we can do all kind of things they say alcoholism mustn't, they don't supposed to do. But then I'm gonna hammer this home and then I'm gonna get ready to close. And then it goes on to say on top of page 101. Our experience shows that this is not necessarily so. You know, and it just got to talking about we must not have it in our homes, we must not go anywhere. That was just some examples, right? But when we spiritually fit, you know, we don't have to avoid these things. Now, we're just not going to run into a fire, right, with a house burning. But if we got to go in one of these old sordid places, let's go get somebody in there and get them out of there. And then it goes on to say, this is what I want to get to. We meet these conditions every day. That's somebody that's had a psychic change. We can meet these conditions. Yeah, thank you for that green and ice cap. I love that story right there. So, but then, and this is a key point. It says an alcoholic who cannot meet them still has an alcoholic mind. There is something the matter with his spiritual status. That means no psychic change yet, right? Now, in the beginning of recovery, we may not have a psychic change in the first 1, 2, or 3 steps. It may take a little longer for some people, but once that psychic change occurs, the very same person who seemed doomed, you will see he will be a whole totally different person. So I always think about spiritual progress, not perfection. No doubt about it. But then it says his only place chance for sobriety will be someplace like the Greenland ice cap. And even now, a darn Eskimo or a bear, or maybe even a big armadillo might show up on the Greenland ice cap. You'll see them coming towards you, and they might come out with a bottle of scotch, and then your day is ruined. You think, oh, I thought I was away from all this stuff. I'm shielding myself from it. No. Any idea of combating alcoholism, trying to keep some people away from the sick man, is doomed to failure. You let them go as they please to go. When you're working with others, you try to take them through the steps, but we can't stop them from drinking. If they want to drink, fine, they'll drink. We just hope they survive and come back to me, and then we can proceed from there. There are examples in our big book. In the beginning, my man Jim, he got drunk 6 times in rapid succession. And the book don't say how often it was, but 6 times in rapid succession. If he was like me, it was probably 6 times in 6 days. And the people were still there to lift him up on his feet. That means we be there for him. That's the part of helping others. We act the good Samaritan every day, as the book said. So, thanks for that. So with that, one more thing, and then, oh yeah, I'm about to run. I don't want to run y'all over time because I respect y'all time and I appreciate y'all. Down on page 103, and this is end working with others. It goes down in italics, right? It says, after all, our problems were of our own making. Bottles were only a symbol. Besides, we have stopped fighting anything or anybody. We have to. And check it out, one more thing. Alcoholic who got a day sober, he can help another alcoholic. Trust me, if you got 24 hours sober, you can always reach out and help somebody else that's struggling. So thank God for AA. Thank God for this recovery process. I thank God for all of you for helping me today by being here in a meeting. Thank you much. So, Brother Dan, we'll close it out, and then we'll see if anybody got any feedback, any questions, comments, disputes, or whatever. Hey, Brother Pete.
Ah, cool. Very much. Thank you very much, Kemble. Rocking it. Thank you for facilitating the meeting today. The recording will now